So, another movie review for The Fifth Element. I love this movie. It is absolutely, hands down, one of my favorite movies from when I was younger. At the beginning, I did not really want to watch it because my dad was like, oh my god, it's so amazing, you have to watch it, you have to watch it. And I was at that age where you didn't really want to listen to your parents. But I did, and I watched it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It is just awesome. It is kind of out there, you know, but I just like all the characters. I like what they did with the movie, and even though there are a lot of bad effects, you know, it still works for me. If you take it from the top, there's not that much not to love, you know. There are great characters, and it's a funny movie, and it's interesting. You really want to know how it ends. You really want to know if they're gonna save the Earth or not, and I like that tension. One of my favorite scenes of this movie takes place in Fhloston Paradise, where he's won the contest, and they're at the concert where the diva is singing opera, and then all of a sudden it turns into this sort of like hip-hop-ish thing. And then when it cuts to the other scene of Lilu fighting these monsters and everything, I just think it's a very well put together scene, and I always love when that scene's on. Obviously, if you're not really into fantasy, you're not really into that whole really out there idea and characters, you're not going to be a great fan of this movie. But it is just a great movie, and you're on pins and needles the first time you see it, in the end, because you want to figure out what is the fifth element. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just very sweet what the ending is. You know, the characters are so amazing in it. You have Corbin Dallas, the big, strong hero type guy that's not really that awesome because he can't really actually drive a cab, and he has a mom that's annoying, and he's just very sort of the anti-hero in the beginning of the movie. Then you have Lilu, who was an alien, then she was an arm, then she was a beautiful lady, and then she saves the world. Multipass. I really enjoyed her, and even though Mila Jovovich's job isn't that hard because she doesn't really say anything, I think she does a really good job just with facial expressions and everything. Then you have the preacher and his friend, his helper. They do a great job of trying to be the hero but not being emotionally strong or physically strong enough to actually take on the task. And you know, you have to mention Gary Oldman, who plays an absolutely magnificent bad guy in this movie. He creeped me out so much when I first saw him, and I couldn't actually see that that was Gary Oldman. It was just, no, that's not him, that's not him. And I watched it recently with one of my roommates, and she has an absolutely ginormous crush on Gary Oldman, and she said she could not watch the rest of that movie after watching that because that's just a slap in the face of how gorgeous Gary Oldman is. So she boycotted the movie. And then obviously Ruby Rhod, played by Chris Tucker, which is a fantastic role, and I must admit, some of those costumes that he was wearing, I would like to own them. I think everybody would look good in a black spandex suit with red roses on it. And just the way he talks, it's just the Chris Tucker way. His voice and the sentence and just everything is just hilarious. All the characters are so extreme that you can't help but love this movie. I would definitely say go watch this movie if you haven't seen it. It's a classic for me, and it is one of the movies I can watch constantly without any problems. I just really enjoy it. So yeah, I can't really deny the fact that I absolutely love this movie, and I think it's a mistake if you haven't watched it. And go watch it. Really, watch it.